Hello, hello, and happy, what day is today? Tuesday. So today I'm going to be interviewing one of my clients, Natasha. She has been killing the game in my program since she joined in January. She's one of the one of the birthday scholarship winners, and she's just been crushing it. I honestly don't know how she does it all. She's a mom of two. She's a wife. She's a working mom, so she works full time and she's got a lot on her plate, but she is one of the hardest workers in the room and one of those members that all of the whole community loves her because she's always sharing amazing tips. She's always encouraging other members. She's always sharing about her journey. And that's something that, I personally appreciate so much because she has so much on her plate. She didn't need to do any of that, and she is becoming such a great addition to our community. And not only that, she's been having amazing results. She was finally able to lose those stubborn last 10 pounds that she has been trying on her own for a while. Well, she's gonna tell her story here, and she just did a photo shoot with her husband. She looked freaking amazing, and yeah, I'm excited to talk to her. I'm excited to invite her here to share a little bit of her journey, just working with me, working with us, being part of the ACF squad. And so I think she's a great inspiration for a lot of women who just like her have a lot on their plate. Invited her here. Bear with me because, again, this is the second time that I've been doing this. So, hi, Natasha.
Hi. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Can you see me?
Yes, I can. Let me just position myself better here because I think my head is cut off a bit. Yeah, you can't see my forehead, can you?
Same for me. There we go. Wait.
All right. Okay. So while you watch us podcast, here you can just comment down below where you're from, where you're tuning in. And Natasha is going to share with us a little bit of her journey in just a bit, just some technical issues. There you go. Now you can see me better, I guess.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I have filter on. No shame.
I'm like,
there you go.
What's a fun one? This one? Ooh. Gives me good skin.
Better.
Let's keep it.
All right, Natasha, can you hear me well though? Hello? Because now you seem to be frozen. Now it's frozen.
We got it.
Hi. Yes.
Hi.
I lost.
Okay, I'm not touching anything. I'm just gonna leave it alone.
Oh, good. It happens. All right, Natasha. So why don't you, first of all, thank you for accepting this invitation. Thanks for hopping on the live with me.
Yeah.
I love chatting with you, and I just thought it would be even more fun doing this on Instagram for a lot of people. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what do you do for work, if you're a mom, not, like, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I am an Arizona native. It's getting incredibly hot here, which you don't know about in Canada. I have two kids, a 13-year-old son and a 6-year-old daughter. Married to my husband, Nick. We've been married for 7 years, together for 10. And I'm going to be 40 this year in September. So I was like, when I hit 40, I want to be getting towards the goal of being in the best shape of my life. Now, starting this journey at 39, I know that being there at 40 is probably not going to happen, but approaching it is the goal, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. That's awesome. And what did your life look like before you joined the program? Like fitness wise, mindset, how were things looking like before we started working together?
So, before we started working together, I was into fitness, right? I loved going to the gym, would do all kinds of different classes. Years ago, I was like a power yoga Pilates chick and did kickboxing for 2 years. And I've done boot camps and the gym and little programs that I've found that are, personal training, lose 10 pounds fast type vibe, and have always really loved health and fitness, but was getting to a place where my body was not responding to what I was doing with my health and fitness as much as I would have liked it to, especially after having my daughter in my mid-ish 30s. My body changed a lot after that, like as far as like how it would respond to things that I would do fitness wise. So I was just at a place where I was like, what the heck is going on? What do I need to do here? Something has to give. And that's where my mental mindset was, like before me and you started chatting and I joined your program. Where I'm like, I'm in the gym, I'm doing my thing. I feel like I'm eating well. Like people would
What
that
the
I
heck is
knew
happening?
yes, people that I knew would describe me as healthy, quote unquote. And I'm like, well, then what's going on here? Like, why won't my body budge in a sense? And that's when I started chatting to you.
And how long did you feel stuck that way?
Well, I had my daughter when I was 33. So, I mean, you consider you're pregnant for, the better part of 10 months. And then, so a good 7 years at least, where I was like, nothing's really, of course you lose like a lot of weight after you have the baby. But then once you do that, you see how much your body has changed. Unless you're someone who's like already very physically fit and you continue that journey throughout your pregnancy, which unfortunately so many of us women don't do. We will sit and be like, I'm so tired, I'm exhausted, I need to take in all these extra calories. And I kind of fell in the middle of that where I wasn't super stagnant, but I wasn't continuing like to really work out and do what I needed to do to maintain a good physique during my pregnancy. And being in my mid 30s, it changed my body a lot.
In what sense did your body change? Like what were you doing before that you weren't able to do after getting pregnant?
Well, I would say that's like a tricky way of putting it, right? Because we can all say, like, I wasn't capable of doing it, but we kind of put ourselves in that mindset that you're not capable or you don't have the time or the luxury of time. And it is really difficult, I'd say, like the first year or two of your baby's life. Like, I'll never take that away from any mom. But it was more just my body had changed a lot. Like my muscle mass had changed quite a bit, which I think I was like very naive and ignorant to know, like, is just something that happens when you hit your 30s. So I was feeling like my stomach was just not as tight or toned as I wanted it to be. My butt fell off after I had Lennon, my daughter. Everything just felt soft to me. And I was wanting and craving that like toned, leaner look and physique that I was able to achieve very easily in my 20s. And you hear it all the time, whether it's someone who's gimmicky or someone who's being honest. Like there's a lot of like spectrum, such a broad spectrum, like in the fitness industry between what's bullshit and what's not. But you whether it's bullshit or not, you do hear that a lot. Like, my body's not the same as it was in my 20s. I can't get back to the way I was in my 20s. And it's because you're chasing and what you were doing in your 20s to get that body. Like, it's not the same body anymore. It's a different body. Hormones change, muscle mass changes, the way you respond to everything changes. And so you have to do things differently if you want to get like the same type of results.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll go even further to say that your life is different, right? You didn't have the same responsibilities in your 20s that you do now, right? Yeah. You probably had more time available to you. You had, more resources. You just had yourself to take care of. You didn't have your kids, your career, and so on and so forth. So the whole lifestyle changes so much between like your 20s and your 30s, and people don't always realize that. Just keep trying to do the same things. Yeah, it's not going to work because it's a completely different life, a completely different body now, and you have to work with what you've got, right? Yeah. Yes. And I'm curious too, where, since you were, doing all the things on your own, and you were going to the gym and doing the workouts, doing all the things, and eating healthy, taking care of your diet, and people would describe you as healthy. Did you ever feel like you should have been able to do it on your own?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because you were that like fit friend or that healthy friend. Yes. And like, of course you should be able to do it on your own.
Yes, and you think that just going through the motions of it and doing what you would consider to be textbook, right? Going, okay, well, I'm eating healthy. I can't remember the last time I ate fast food. I can't remember the last time I drank a soda. Like, I don't eat a ton of sweets or processed foods. And I'm like, I'm going to the gym. I'm busting my ass in the gym. And I think I might have even been, since taking our program, learning that I was overdoing it. And that there's also that aspect that like your adrenals can only take so much, that you're like killing yourself in the gym almost. Like, I feel like I'm going to kill over with cardio sometimes, and that can have a negative effect on the response that you're trying to get. So it's like, I've learned that I consider myself a relatively intelligent individual, and I could spend time consuming books, or maybe taking a master class, or taking a program and trying to learn more about the ins and outs of health and fitness. But I'm only going to be able to divulge so much of my time into that area, opposed to someone like yourself who has spent years studying it, practicing it, learning the ins and outs of it, what it can do for someone, do for yourself, different body types, age groups, male, female, etc. So it was, while I thought I could do it on my own, I didn't have the information. It was just like a little tiny tip of the iceberg for the information that I had, when there's like this whole wealth of like knowledge and processes that I have no idea about. Yeah. And that's what I think having a coach can bring into someone's life, that bodies are very different and that it's extremely customizable. Like, what you're doing, the things that I'm doing now, I was like, whoa, like, I wasn't doing this at all when I was on my own. Like, I thought I had it nailed down. I thought I knew what I was doing. And now, like, you have me in like a free week, so to speak, like we're trying to like give me a little bit of a diet break this week to hit back on a fat loss. And I'm going, this is how I was eating all the time before when I thought I was dieting. And this is like a 3 week for me, where I like told you this morning, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going to be like cheating all week, eating all these calories and carbs and stuff. And that was just what I was doing on a daily basis, thinking that that was going to get me to where I needed to be, because I just was ignorant and I didn't know.
Yeah. And there's also the aspect of, even if you get the information, it's the application of the information that makes difference in the results that you get, right? Because I can't, watch all the YouTube videos and all the skincare routines
Mm-hmm.
out there and all the products and all, and buy everything. But if I don't know the exact order, or if I don't know what you would recommend me to do for my
Right.
skin type, I
Right.
would like I would still be spinning my wheels and trying and
Mm-hmm.
making mistakes and just wasting time and energy. So
Yeah.
there's only
And
so much.
money too.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
Yes. And
there's
money
only
too.
so much that you can do on your own, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a wealth of knowledge that if you're dedicating yourself and creating a career out of it, that's when you look to someone who's going, okay, I have issues with my skin. Let me go to an esthetician like myself
Exactly.
and say, how do I fix my skin?
Yep.
If you're having a problem with your eyes, you're going to go to an optometrist. Or, there's different like areas of expertise, and like health and fitness is definitely an area of expertise. So I think it's really been like altering in my mindset, and kind of just this that I realized, whoa, okay, this is why people invest in a coach. But a good coach is also something that is on the table as well, right? Like you can have a bad one too. So
Yes,
yeah.
unfortunately. There's
Mm-hmm.
lots of bad ones in every career, in every profession, that there's always, the good ones and the not so good ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious also, because I remember we were, having conversations back and forth even before you applied for the scholarship,
Mm-hmm.
about your journey and, some of the things that you were facing that you couldn't figure out. What was there a specific thing that you felt that you were stuck on, or that you felt, what motivated you to pull the trigger and apply for the scholarship and say, you know what, I'm done, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to Andrea and ask for help? Like, was there a specific light bulb moment when that happened, or were you struggling specifically with anything at that point?
Mm-hmm. I think it was like a slow burn into that moment versus like a light bulb epiphany.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it, I think, was that anyone that knows me or anything about me knows that me and my husband are very close. We're best friends. We embark on a lot of different things in life together. And we had decided that, hey, neither one of us is in like horrible shape, but let's get in really great shape. Like, how awesome would it be to like be in our 40s, 50s, 60s, and people are like, wow, like you look great. We both are very much on the same page with things, and we decided to kind of embark on a journey of health and fitness together, and in regards to like, we're here, like, let's level up. And side note, always a plus having a spouse that's on board with you in regards to that. But I was noticing that while have been the one who cooks our meals and would meal plan, and we'd go to the gym together and we'd do things, and he's always like a little level up, like his energy is just like that of a toddler on a daily basis, but nonetheless, like, we're going to the gym or we'll take classes together or do things together, and I'm like, your body is changing a lot and mine's like not moving. And it would be frustrating, and there would be times where I would feel like very defeated by that. And I was trying to maintain a positive mindset around it, like, okay, well, something's got to give. Maybe it's just going to take more time. Maybe, like my husband, obviously he's male, he has testosterone, like maybe that's a problem. I even did a testosterone test to make sure that like my levels weren't too low, and maybe that's why I wasn't responding. And I think that so many women fail to realize like how massively important consistent weightlifting is, and consistent training in the area that you try to avoid in the gym is like the area that you need the most, right? And you can do all these boot camp classes and burn, 800 calories in 45 minutes, but you're not going to get like toned and tight if you're not really hitting the weights. And that's ultimately what's going to help to sculpt your body. And I think that I was just seeing so much more change in my husband's body versus mine in the efforts we were putting forward. And that kind of led me to go like, maybe I need some help here. Like, I'm really trying it on my own. Like I didn't feel like I was in a space where I wanted to devote all this time and energy into reading all of these books and doing all of these things to help me slowly discover what it is that I needed to do versus hiring a coach that could help me go, I've already read all the books and done all the studying. Like, this is what you need to do.
That's awesome. And you're exactly like that. You listen to feedback, you have the plan, and you execute it. Such a hard worker. So if any of you guys are watching this and looking at her pictures and you're like, oh my gosh, it looks amazing. Yes, but she puts in the work, let me tell you.
Thank you.
She worked hard. Now you're working hard on the right plan that's leading you to the results you want. But where before you were still working hard and putting in the effort, but on the wrong plan, on the wrong things, right?
Yes.
Awesome. And what are the 1 to 2 biggest things that you've learned so far in the program, if you could point that out?
Everything that you put in your mouth matters, right? And I mean that in not this way that so many people will take it, where so many people go, you need to have, like, don't let food control you. Like, oh, you deserve the piece of cake, you deserve the donut, you deserve the ice cream, you deserve the soda. And while that's true, it comes in moderation, right? And sometimes I feel like we tell ourselves we deserve things a little more than we do. And it's that you need to also broaden the lens a bit and go, what is it that I want for myself? Like, do I want to have a better physique? Do I want to look more lean? Do I want to look more toned? Okay, are these treats or these things I deserve going to get me there faster or slower? So I've really learned that counting everything right now is a phase in my life. It doesn't need to be forever that I'm going to be logging and planning every single meal and every single calorie till the day that I die. Right now it feels hard and sometimes it's overwhelming, but I go, this is just a phase. Your body is responding. You're going to get to a point where it relaxes and like, I've already learned so many things where I'm like, I could probably tell you without a scale within a gram or two what 50 grams of spinach looks like because I put it in my smoothie every morning. And you start to like really learn these things, and then it just becomes a part of your life, and it becomes a cycle that you're repeating on your own without measuring and counting. And I also heard something once that is another thing that I've really learned and brought myself back to many times, is that it's so much harder to get into shape than it is to stay in shape. So when you're really, really trying to get there, that's a process. It's a lot of work, a lot of devotion, a lot of discipline. And then once your body gets there and you're like, wow, I've hit my goals. This is like, I never thought I could look like this or be in this shape. I've done it. Now it's maintaining it. Yeah. And those standards and habits are already there, and it's easier to maintain it.
Exactly. There are phases, there are seasons to get there. And just to give people some context, what were your initial goals when you joined the program in January? What you were striving to achieve with your physique?
Well, I did want to lose 10 pounds. That was a huge goal of mine. The scale would not budge off those 10 pounds. And so when I hit it, I was like, hallelujah, I did it. And I wanted what so many people, I think, especially women in their 30s, 40s, 50s want. Like, I wanted to look overall more toned and tight. And you had asked me, you're like, is there a specific area? And while I appreciate that, like, a lot of women may have a very specific area that they want more toned and tight, I was like, girl, I want it all. Like, I want to have shoulders, I want to have nice arms, I want flatter stomach, I want a nice butt, I want more toned legs. Like, I want to work on everything. And I feel like I'm seeing that happening, which is like a very, very positive thing for me. It feels really nice to see it happening. My
That's
husband
amazing.
had, like, probably a week or so ago, I was like in the kitchen cooking, and he was like, it's so crazy. And I was like, what? And he's like, just like I look at you from behind and you just look so different. Like, your butt's higher, your waist is tighter, like you just look smaller and more lean. And I'm like, oh, okay, like
Oh,
that's a good thing.
that felt so
Yeah.
good. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Mhm.
And I'm curious, Natasha, why did you decide to reach out to me specifically out of all the other fit people that you see on Instagram? And you're flooded with a lot of
Mhm.
influencers selling
Oh my
all
God.
this stuff online.
Hmm.
Why did you decide to, let me talk to this girl?
Lord knows our feeds do that, right? It's like you click a couple fitness things and it's like you're just inundated with like fitness gurus and
Yeah.
tips and tricks. And I think one of the things that I really liked about you is that you were very, very organic, and you weren't creating these little like quippy reels just to try to get followers, and the do not do this, make sure you do that. Like, just so many people, I think, do that with their Instagrams, especially when they're trying to create a following. You had even mentioned once before, like, I'm just not a big reel person. Like, I'm going to try to do reels because I know they're important. I know they're the thing. They're just not really my vibe. You're more like, whoever wants to follow me and be on this journey is like welcome to, but I'm not going to force feed it. And I appreciated that, like, genuine, like, approach to your like fitness, that you're also very much like no bullshit. And you've said that many times. Like, we've seen it in your community where you're just like, excuse me, like, absolutely not. Like, these excuses are like assholes. Everyone has them, and I like that as well. I'm a person that I like the direction and being told like what to do. I like following direction, and I liked that you were um, targeting an audience that I could relate to.
Mm-hmm.
You work with women in my age group, which I appreciated. You mentioned that you're very one-on-one. You're very like, if you're going to work with me, like, we're working together one-on-one. I've joined programs before that are very like blanket and surfaced. Like, they don't know if you're 20 years old or 40 years old. They don't know, like, it's just so you're in the gym and you're doing like the workouts that are prescribed to you daily, but they're prescribed to hundreds or thousands of other women that are in completely different situations than you. So I appreciated that it was very one-on-one, but also remote, because I like to be able to go do my own thing in the gym, in a sense, where I'm not having a trainer like hovering over me and I'm forced into that conversation and that back and forth and that small talk or that awkwardness. I like being able to put my headphones in, follow my program, do my thing, but know that it's also catered specifically to me. And I really liked that you created that for me and for other people in your program.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Appreciate that. And what do you think is the biggest difference, or the thing that you like the most, or the thing that is sets ourselves apart from all the other fitness programs out there? What is the biggest difference comparing to an ocean of fitness programs?
Um, I like the community of it. It's very, while it's people like all over the world, it's very close knit.
Yeah.
And the communication that we not only have like so readily available with you as our coach, we also are doing little like micro coaching with each other, which is really, really cool and so awesome that it's almost like, don't bother mama, like, let's see if we can figure this out on our own first.
I
And
love the back and forth.
and it's um you're having people that are doing what you're doing have already been in a phase that you may be in now that you're struggling with, or that you can communicate to them like, I'm here with you, like we're working on this together. Like, yeah, last night I wanted to binge on cake too, and it was really hard not to. And that you have that connectivity with each other, and that it's not just you and your coach or you and a screen, because you don't really have a coach. I joined a program a while back, which I won't mention what it is, but reached out to my coach and never heard back. And I had questions and I needed answers and I never got a response. And I think that that makes a very big difference, is that if you're investing your time and your energy and your money into a program, that your coach is going to invest their time and energy and efforts back into you. And I think that that sets you apart, is that it really does feel one-on-one, even though we're literally in different countries from each other. And so that's like a really cool like thing that you've created, and an environment that you've created that I don't think a lot of people are capable of doing.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I'm very picky. And like every woman in the program goes through the same process of application and interviewing. And, if the person is not a good fit, it's not going to be a good fit, because I don't want anyone to be in the community and feel left out,
Yeah.
or feel like they don't belong. You guys are so close together in mindset, in how you approach things, and the lifestyle and so on, that it is really important to keep that aspect really going. Yeah. And obviously from my own experience with coaches before, where there's not really a person there, it's nobody is there to answer your questions, nobody is there to really engage with you. So I really wanted to make sure that the community aspect was there, and that the one-on-one aspect was truly one-on-one, and not just bullshit marketing word just to sell, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate that. And you've been such a great addition to the community as well. I've seen so many of your posts, the way that you share about your journey, and you share your wins, you share, you help other members. So I appreciate you in that sense as well. Now, if anything, because I know we've had this conversation before, but if anything, what did you hesitated, or was there anything that you felt skeptical about when you decided to reach out and join?
100%. So I would say that what's going to be the answer for me is probably the answer for a lot of people, is that if you're already investing time and energy, you're going, what's the variable now that I'm going to be investing other than that? And it's financial, right? That you're like, okay, I have to buckle down and go, now I'm going to pay for a coach. And I'm paying for a coach before I really know exactly what that coach is going to do. Because we have an interview and we talk, but people can be full of shit, right?
Yep.
And it's like you're taking that leap of faith and saying, okay, I'm going to invest my energy and time and now my finances into this person, hoping that they're going to give back to me what I'm hoping out of the program. So that was a big one for me. It was like, okay, like I'm going to pay for this and I really hope that it works. But I also had a conversation with myself and an open conversation with my husband about it, that I was like, if we're going to pay for this and you're going to support me doing this, I'm going to totally dive into it. I'm not going to disappoint you, but firstly and foremost, not going to disappoint myself. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go, oh, I'm paying this money for this and we're paying this money for this, but I'm just kind of half-assing it. And I'm not really following it, and I'm missing training days, and I'm not drinking my water, and I'm not planning my meals, and I'm just kind of going through the motions and not getting results. Like, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it well. And so I think it was just also that leap too, knowing that now I was going to be held accountable, like to myself, to my husband, to you, to the group, the community, going, okay, like I really can't like excuse myself out of this anymore. I'm not going to wake up in the morning and be like, I don't feel like going and training today, so I'm not going to. Like, no, get your ass up and go train. Like it's that accountability was a big one as well. Like I need to like not let myself down here, and I need to really give it everything, and no more excuses, no more like having reasons to half-ass it. Almost like the person who decides, you know what, I'm gonna like post before pictures and tell everyone I'm gonna get in shape. And it's like, now I kind of have
Now
to
you're
because
better.
everyone's expecting me to. Like,
Yeah.
where so many people I think avoid doing that because they're afraid of the accountability aspect of it. And so I think that's a big one for sure. That's kind of the two answers, but they both were
Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I guess it can relate to a lot of women out there because some of them are just going through the motions and just, putting themselves last in the priority list and giving themselves excuses when they're really afraid of, doing the work and having, that accountability aspect. And obviously the investment portion,
Yeah.
the investment in something that, investment up front is something that can be quite scary. I know that. But at the same time, do you feel like because you were all in invested, not only energy wise, but with the money aspect, did that make a difference in how committed you were?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
It made a huge difference because then you're going, well, I can't really like drop out, right?
Yeah.
Mentally or physically, emotionally. Like I've done this up front. It's like if you decided you were going to pay a lot of money up front to take a college course, you're probably going to be more apt to show up to class on time and do the work and get the good grade because you know that you've paid money for it. And we all work very hard for our money. It doesn't come easily, right? So you want where you're investing it to make a difference.
Yeah.
So, and these things are like luxuries and wants and not necessarily necessities, because I could have gone and just continued to train and just continued to eat the way that I thought I needed to eat. And it's not like I felt like I looked horrible, but I wanted to look great. And so that was something that I decided I wanted to invest in. And so in doing that, it comes at a cost of going, okay, I can't make excuses anymore. I can't bullshit. Like I've done this. Now I've paid. Now I need to meet that goal. So it definitely makes a difference.
That's awesome. And looking back, how do you feel the results you've achieved so far with your physique and just the last few months? How do you feel that has impacted other areas of your life?
It's greatly impacted it. So I feel myself becoming more confident. My clothes are fitting better. I'm like excited for now, but also knowing like what's going to happen in the future. It's that little bit of give in a situation where you felt like there was no give before, where anyone that has ever seen any results when they're working on anything knows that that's motivation to continue to move forward, right? Like you're starting to see that. And I'm seeing it more quickly in your program than I saw in years of working on my own before. So the few months that I've spent in the program, I've seen so much of a change and a difference, whereas I was working for years before and seeing just small, marginal, like minimal differences in my body. And so that makes me feel more invested. I've noticed like a big difference in my mindset. I actually really, really enjoy my workouts now. I enjoy training. I enjoy eating healthier, knowing like what my plan is for food now, rather than going like, oh, I just want to eat whatever. It's like I'm nourishing my body, I'm fueling my body, I'm eating for a purpose, for a goal, rather than just eating to eat. And clothes are fitting more loosely now. I'm excited to like get to a stage soon where I'm like, I want to go shopping for new gym clothes and like feeling really confident in that. Like summer's coming up, so it's a great feeling to not feel, oh my gosh, summer's coming up. Like, all right, time to bust out the bathing suits. Like, what's gonna fit? What's gonna look good? It's I'm excited to get into summer months knowing that I'm getting more fit and getting more healthy.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And do you feel that the way that you are feeling, does that have an impact on your family, on your career, on other areas not related necessarily to fitness?
Yes, absolutely. I think that for anyone, when you're feeling insecure inside, whether you're letting other people know that, sharing that, or talking about that, that it's going to impact the way that you project yourself to any area of your life. So in your marriage, whether you're feeling more confident, like in your marriage, in the bedroom, or feeling like you went and tried something on and it was super tight and uncomfortable, and now you're kind of grumpy and lashing out at your kids, or going into work that morning feeling really bloated, or your stomach's hurting because you overindulged the night before and you know you haven't worked out in the last week because you've been too tired, that you're kind of snappy and short at work with your coworkers. I think that it all, your health and fitness and well-being mentally and physically impacts every area of your life with friends, coworkers, family, everyone.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I agree with all of that because all we do, the way that we feel impact all of other areas, the way that we show up for our families,
Yeah.
and yeah. And just to wrap this up, what would you tell, Natasha, what would you tell somebody who might be on the fence? They're just looking on the sidelines. They're like, I kind of want it, but I'm not sure. Maybe they're, just hesitant about the financial aspect. Maybe they're hesitant about, the accountability. Or what would you say to that person who is on the fence wanting to join?
I would say that if there's any way that you can do it or make it work for yourself on a financial level, to take that leap, and that it's worth it. And that the mental and the physical will follow that. So while some people may literally not be able to pay for it right now, given their financial circumstances, that if you're on the fence about it and going, I think I can, or I think I might be able to make it work, that it's so worth it if you do. Because you might have to pull some strings, or you might have to pull your purse strings a bit and go, okay, well, I'm going to stop doing this, or stop buying coffees every day, or getting my mani-pedis every couple weeks, or paying for like little things that I don't necessarily need in order to pay monthly or invest monthly in my health and fitness instead. And that it's so worth it because, like we just talked about a minute ago, it's going to positively impact so many other areas of your life. And that it's worth investing in yourself. And again, it's a short period of your life that you're investing that amount of money into what's going to prolong your life and better your life for years and years and years and years to come. That while you might have to invest and buckle down money up front and in the beginning for 6 months, a year, that you're setting yourself up for the knowledge and the power to do it yourself for the rest of your life after that. That it's not like it's something that you're going to have to continue to invest in every single month for the rest of your life. Again, just like every phase in the fitness journey, that's also a short financial phase in your life. So it's totally worth it.
Awesome. That's awesome. Awesome. Well said. Thank you. Thank you so much, Natasha. It was a pleasure.
Yes.
And yeah, so if you just hopped on this live, we're just wrapping it up, but I'm going to leave the replay on Instagram so you can rewatch the replay if you missed it. And again, thank you so much, Natasha, for joining me here. I know we went over the 30 minutes.
Okay.
But again, thank you so much, and have a great rest of the day.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.